Wow, here we go. Excite Bike. I am super excited. Well, I mean, you can't really help my voice, but today I'm super excited because we are officially celebrating Seascape's second anniversary. That's right, it's been 2 years since the launch of our uh, original token, crowns, as well as the official birth of the network. And today we're going to be celebrating quite a few things that we've done in the past, as well as look forward into the future. And we're going to do that with a lot of some of our great friends. Some of those things are actually much older than 2 years, actually. And certainly our view into the future extends much farther. So today, helping me host is longtime friend of the pod, Simon.
Hey there.
Hey,
Great
what's
to
going
be
on?
here. Nothing much, just celebrating as you would expect, I guess.
Woo, exciting.
Exciting times, exciting day. And yeah, thanks for having me on the pod, I guess. I didn't know I was joining a podcast, but I'll take it.
Visual podcast, exactly.
Visual podcast, yeah.
Yeah, so well, the way we usually start these things, we talk about things that are currently going on in our community. So, Simon, what current community events do we have at the ready for people out there in webland to get a hold of?
In webland, in events we have indeed, and quite a few, right? If you've been following any of our, I guess, socials, you've been seeing loads of campaigns leading up to today. There are more to come as well. But we have been basically hosting campaigns for like a week now straight. Every day we've been, we are giving away special limited edition NFTs to very lucky people. Not only do they look great, they also have a special use, which I guess we'll get into later.
We'll get into very shortly.
Exactly. But yeah, if you go to our Twitter, you can see loads of different tweets over the last day. And over the last days, and they'll all outline basically where you can go to participate in those events and those campaigns, and get one of those beautiful spinning NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we've got some partner campaigns that are going on. You can check out our most recent publications about that. Find out how you can work with any of our partners and get involved with those rewards, as well as our own internal rewards that are going to be based around retweets, posting your favorite content, things like that. So make sure you get on top of that. Now we've got those bits of the announcements out of the way. We're going to just kind of get into like I don't know, the most exciting aspects of what we got going on. So I'm going to share a little bit of excitement with everyone. Don't get too excited. I mean, we'll do get too excited. Just don't have a heart attack.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. So as you can see here, as you may have noticed I don't know which way I should be pointing, but directly above me, we've got a brand new color for our logo. So if you take a look here at this shiny bit,
the shiny medallion.
Yeah, exactly. You can see some novelty with what we're going to be going with, and let's explain a little bit about why we're trying to do that. So as you guys know who we are, just in case you may not know, Seascape, we're going through a rebirth, so to speak, a new baptism into our future. And so we're going to still be doing a lot of the same things we used to do, but with newer, refined purpose and with a bit more of directionality to it. So as you guys know, we've always been, we've always aimed to be a really important platform in the Web3 space and gaming space more broadly, providing not only gamified experiences for people who are interested in GameFi, in Web3, etc., but also in providing infrastructure as well. So our original branding was more in the direction of the products that we made in our first iteration, and now our branding is meant to encompass a bit more about what we are in general, to focus not just on our individualized products, but also on some of the more broad ways that we intend to impact the Web3 space more broadly. As you guys probably are all aware, infrastructure is one of the things that is don't want to say lacking, but it's lacking, right, in our industry. And Seascape, as well as many other people in the industry, are aiming to fix that. And that is a very important part of our DNA. We want that to be visually distinct, visually apparent about how we go forward. So in the future, you'll see some things you'll see this new color palette. It'll be representing us a bit more pointedly and directly, whereas our individual products will also have their own branding, their own colors. And so get used to a new look, a new C for the Seascape.
Exactly. To really emphasize the network part, right?
And the C part. The C part and the network part.
Yeah. But yeah, so to kind of emphasize the interconnectivity.
Yeah.
Is that a word? That sounds like a word.
It is now, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is now. Just coined it.
Yeah.
And yeah, to kind of focus on the entire ecosystem, right? We've had stuff in the past. There's going to be a lot more in the future. And yeah, instead of just being, just games, we flesh out all of the around the support systems, the network part, right? It's all
something like that, yeah. So
yeah, kind of.
Okay. Let's take a look at some of the things we've accomplished over the course of the last year. You may have seen this graphic going around, but you probably haven't seen these particularly new branded colors with the new Seascape Blue. We're looking to patent that next year. We're very excited about how many hodlers we have, about how many games we have, about how many blockchains we're on, and how we're going to be expanding onto more blockchains. What this is missing, of course, is IMX. We are also available there as well. And we're not planning to stop there. We're planning to kind of wiggle our fingers across the Web3 spaces in as much as we are able. We've distributed an enormous amount of rewards. One of the things that our players love so much about us is that we do really care a lot about the rewards mechanism, and we're going to continue to do that, but we're going to make some changes about that and in the way that we proceed. And some of those changes are going to be very much up to you, the player. So we're going to introduce that very shortly, but I do want to take a minute to just be really excited about our growth. Like this the last 7 or 8 months have not been the most ideal economic situation for not just our industry, but a lot of tech industries in general, but despite that, we have continued to see growth. We have continued to see continued interest in our products, continued faith from our strongest and most loyal fans. And in general, everything that we've received, all of the love that we've received has demonstrated to us how important and how correct we were at the very beginning about our directionality, about what we had faith in. And yeah, we're just really excited about that, and all the things that we have accomplished have paved the way for an exciting future. Don't let me steamroll you, Simon. You can say things. Sorry.
Yeah. When I looked at these numbers now, I've seen them before and they look great, but I gotta say they look even better in blue. It really changes things.
Okay.
No, but yeah, there's going to be a big focus on community, as you said. All of the numbers that we can see right now, that we've already have seen, and they do showcase our growth, and growth that continued throughout this rough patch, the continuous rough patch the industry is in right now, which really gives us a lot of hope for the future as well. It shows or proves that like what we've been doing works, that people like it, they've adopted it, they've taken very kindly to it, and they've continuously supported us over like the last 2 years, but especially also over the last half year, as you said.
And hopefully they will continue to do so.
Exactly, and I can't wait for the bull to return, to go on that ride.
Yeah, and again. We're gonna be nice and greased up for when that bull gets back, man. I'm just nice and oiled
greasy
up.
Times.
Greasy,
exactly.
Nice and greased. Okay. So one thing that we're really excited about is the introduction of our Seascape Anniversary NFTs. Right. As you can see here, we're going with a little bit of the abstract look. These are going to be, limited in edition. They're not directly, you can't go out and just directly buy these or mint them in games. They are rewards to participants in the ecosystem. They'll have lots of different individual usages, kind of like escapes are usually, like, so they'll be staked and burned within games, but they'll also have a very special usage that I'll get to very shortly. And first of all, I want to talk about who's going to get them and how they're going to get them. So please look out. I'm sure this actually applies to many of you who are out there watching right now. So we're going to send these out in batches. Basically, we're going to send out 80 to 100 a day. And these are going to basically apply to people who meet certain criteria. So today we took a snapshot of participants in our ecosystem, and we're rewarding wallets that for users who have 10,000 or more crowns. So that's something, you guys are good at an NFT. Also, anyone who has a legendary Roman, and I have one particular player in mind when I say that. So I know,
really?
Yeah, I mean,
who could that be?
Who could it possibly be? I wonder.
I don't know. Who cares about Romans, right?
Yeah, right. So if you happen to have a Roman stake, you'll also get one. Anyone who happens to be a holder of riverboats, so the actual riverboat NFTs. Anyone who holds a Moonscape city or rover NFT. Anyone who has a legendary zombie NFT. And we'll also be rewarding many of our BLOCKLORD participants as well, people who hold legacy farmers, as well as unique heroes. So you guys can also look forward to these special NFTs. They'll be going out in batches day by day. So you'll be able to see if which qualifications are going out which day, by paying close attention to our socials. We will be announcing when they are out and when you can check your wallets for what you have received. These beautiful non-funged entities that will have their usages throughout the network. And one of their usages is actually something that I've been very excitedly sitting on for a very long time. And if you've listened to any of our Twitter Spaces recently, or have been to live streams or anywhere where Simon and I have been in a corner talking about Seascape, yeah, then you probably have heard me kind of sew my lips together on this particular topic. But I finally get a chance to talk about it, so I'm really excited. The Seascape DAO. So we're actually going to have our own governance program, right? So we've been working very hard on creating this for you guys. We think it's actually extremely important, a way for us to move in the direction of decentralization and democratization. We want to give everyone who participates in the ecosystem an opportunity to drive the economy on stick shift, so to speak. So you'll have opportunities. We'll get into some of the specifics about what kind of things you can vote on, but in broad strokes, there'll be differing aspects of the economy, because our economy is pretty big, pretty rich, right? There's mini games, there's new projects, there's and even for the mini games, there's when are they, how long do they last, what chain are they on, these kinds of questions. I mean, a lot of these things are going to be now up to the users. So you guys are going to get a chance to vote on them. Voting will have their voters voting for individual items will have their own requirements. So you'll have to have satisfied certain requirements at the time of the launch of the vote in order to take place in that vote. So that'll basically determine how many crowns you have, or if you happen to have proper, if you happen to have the right NFTs on the right chain, or if you've been a part of it if you've been a part of something for a certain amount of time. Once we narrow down those specifics, players in the ecosystem will be able to get in there and go wild with your voice. What is decided by you guys. It's not we can't, you can go on the chain and see who's made these decisions, right? So we really do highly encourage anyone who is participating in the ecosystem to get out there and make your voice heard, especially if you happen to be, some of our chains have more players than others, right? So if there are chains that have fewer players, and your vote is kind of a little bit heavier there, and also encourages people to move to those chains. We're really excited to see where this goes, because it's really kind of out of our hands in this regard, and it's more into the hands of the people who love this project as much as we do. So.
Finally, you can get a say, right? No, but I think it's a great step, and it's a good step to take. It gives back to the community. I think it makes it more inclusive. I think it also will steer us in, maybe a different direction in some senses, but I think also like overall in a positive one. And I'm very excited to see the first votes being taken place, and whatever. I assume somehow for Sissy is going to get all the Romans. He'll have all of the NFTs. And then he'll decide that only Roman's taking in the future. Maybe.
Yeah, we already took the snapshot. Yeah,
so
don't go out and get more of them now. It's fine. But
okay.
yeah, I mean, like, I already know any vote pertaining to what we do with Romans. He's going to be like there.
He'll rally his troops.
Quite a bit of votes. So of course, as I just mentioned, right, votes are going to be weighted basically on different values of assets that you happen to have within the ecosystem, right? So if you have a legendary, right, that is weighted more heavily in terms of your voting power than, say, a common, right? And the anniversary NFT that we're going to be releasing in the coming days will be very heavily weighted, because people who have these NFTs have demonstrated a lot of participation in the ecosystem, and they've demonstrated not only their participation but their belief and their faith in it, and without them, we wouldn't be here, right? So once you get your hands on it, please make sure you get out there and vote for your future. Your future is in your hands. I believe in you.
Make your voice heard. Also,
exactly,
the way you started this segment, which I did really like, posed one question for me. I don't know if you drive currently where you live, but if you were to drive, do you drive stick, or are you a manual guy?
I'm a manual person, and I get made fun of by all my stick driving friends because I'm basic, and I don't apologize for that. I don't.
Add me to that list now.
Okay, fine.
You'll get even more stick for not driving stick now.
Okay, how about no? Shut up.
Okay. Also, one of the votes we might have. This is a joke. I'll just say this, and you can vote on how and when we dox Char. Finally, that is obviously the big thing. Everyone wants and needs to know.
Okay. Please don't. Please never do that.
They won't go up. There won't even need to be a vote because it's already been decided.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of locations, for our next guest, we have a person who spends a lot of time globetrotting, and whose physical location I'm often unsure about. Kind of like Carmen Sandiego, but someone who's very, very integral to the creation and the proliferation and construction and beautification of our network. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, out there in internet land, for Medet Atmasen. Woo!
Oh, I feel myself a bit embarrassed. It was unexpected to have that kind of the greetings. Yeah, glad to be in this meeting, and yes, happy anniversary. Second anniversary, yes.
I mean, like, it's Seascape's second anniversary, but how long have you been doing Seascape stuff? Like a long time, right?
I was initially I was the employee. Yeah. I was the first hired developer, but I was sticking in the early days when it was Bitcoin crash. I wasn't leaving the company, just working, even without caring about the money. And when it was like the BLOCKLORDS, and then we decided to create like an infrastructure. Let's start to work on this as Seascape. I was appointed as a Seascape, and my surprise, I found out that I'm a co-founder from the administrator. I wasn't expecting that.
I remember those days in that Shanghai basement. That's when we met. That was in 2017 or 18. Something like that.
Yes.
And I remember there were some days I would bring lunch to you guys and just hang out in the basement.
Yes.
Remember that time?
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, it's been a long time, right? That's, oh my God, it's been like
Yes.
5 years. Jeez.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Well, in those 5 years, we've done quite a few things, right? So I'm gonna pick your brain about some of that, if that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tight. Ooh. All right. I got some questions for you. Bam. Number one. So what about our technical accomplishments? 5 years is a long time. What have we done in that time? What's some exciting stuff that people should be excited about out there in internet land?
I think we can put it in this way, is that during these 5 years, we released more than anyone else as like the products out there. And from the first product to the next product until now, it's getting just a complicated stuff
like
with
a
the
snowball.
new features. Yes, with it trying to do like something new. And I think we tried like the most innovations, and we know how to build that, taking it like a step by step. Yes.
Tight. Cool. All right. So, I mean, so one thing that we talk about a lot internally, but not a whole lot externally, is our smart contracts, right? That they're actually pretty neat. Like they're not the same sort of basic level that a lot of other people out in this industry are creating, right? That there's something kind of cool about what we've done with our smart contracts. Tell me all about it.
Yes. So smart contracts are like the mini applications on the blockchain, and as a result, they are very limited on what they can do. What we've done is that we try to push that boundaries, and we start to make like more and more smart contracts, but they are like the Lego bricks. You can compound them together in order to build like larger games. So the last few years, we created like the cross-chain applications, again as the Lego bricks, and now finally we polished all of it, and now finally we start to set that as the basement to start to work on these upcoming projects again. Did my answer satisfactory, or need to answer more details?
One thing I would like to know. So one thing that we've talked about before, right? When we talk about like the creation of smart contracts, is basically levels of complication, of complicatedness, right? So like,
yes.
What would you say in terms of, the average other GameFi related project, in terms of level of complication, right? Where would you say like Seascape is in relation to other projects?
Let's say, in a traditional way, you have a client and you have a server. But now, if you are making a blockchain application, you're adding like a third node, like a third entity. So it just makes it even architectures are complicated. But blockchain is still, how to say, it's not like the final stage where you can just take it and build something. You have to make like a tools around these smart contracts. So that adds also another necessity. Takes your time, takes your energy to build like these architecture way more complicated. And with our experience, we will release like a lot of projects. I would say more than 10, because we release like so much. And now I'm working on this higher level stuff that all of the teams are working on something else that, I don't want to count it myself right now, like exactly how many smart contracts we've released things. So one thing that we started to do is we start to generalize all of these things, what is needed to make these applications fast. And we start to build it on its own. And I haven't seen anything like that from all other projects, because I try to use them. I start to push David and Nikki, let's make a partnership with them. And we're trying to do it, and it's not working. And finally, let's create our own stuff.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying, like, we did some cool stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with admitting when you're cool, right? Nothing wrong. Do the kids still pop their collars, or is that like, am I showing my age here? I don't know.
You are. I don't.
Oh my god!
I don't think there hasn't been a single collar popped in like the last 15 years. So.
Oh my god! Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well.
No, it's all right. But I think it should come back again. Whenever you make those references, it speaks of different and easier times.
Oh my god! Oh well.
Well, let's get back to
like
smart
5.
contracts.
Okay. All right, Medet, give me 3 things. Top 3 lessons. Top 3 coolest things that we have learned in the last couple of years.
Yes. First thing is that blockchain is very complex, and it just attracts a lot of people who are making it innovate, who are adding more innovation and innovation. And that means you have to learn a lot of new things. But paradoxically, because of everything is changing and changing, you have to release your product super fast. So it's like a really hard to make like a ultra future reach applications on the level of your Warcraft games or Grand Theft Auto games, because at that time every blockchain data will be outdated. So you have to combine all of these two like paradigms. And second lesson, I would say, it's not about like a technical stuff, but doesn't matter how good your technical stuff is, because I've seen like a lot of companies who are just building like the improvements on something that's already there. For example, they are adding improvements on Ethereum, or they are adding some new things on their Bitcoin and releasing their own cryptocurrency, but it doesn't work. It's because you have to think about like the innovation, how to say, about like a community itself. You have to work with your community, and I haven't seen that a lot via crypto space as well. And the third thing is that, let's skip it because it's too technical things. Like, I don't want to get into that
that's fine.
stuff.
All right, that's fine. You can save it for next anniversary. I'll hold you to it.
Sure.
Okay, so how have we put any of those lessons into the creation of BLOCKLORDS?
Yeah. So as I said, that the blockchain stuff is developing super fast, and some things are outdated. You have to try something again. It adds like more and more features, but at the same time, you have to build your application super fast. And our experience is that you have to separate anything that is related to the blockchain as just like a black box and put it as like the another service. So your application, whether it's a game or something else, it has to just interact with this box. And I'm not saying just like a smart contracts. It doesn't mean that it's only the smart contracts on the different blockchains, but it's also anything that is related to the blockchain. For example, if you are creating like a DeFi games, right? And that DeFi has to have like a calculations on the percentage, has calculations of the APIs, how much you can get from these tokens things. You don't have to write all of it. There's a black box has to give it. And when you're adding some features, you're just adding it to the black box, and black box provides you the single interface that is familiar to the developer, so that developer can build its scalable applications with a clear architecture. It doesn't matter if the blockchain is adding like a new features, or you are changing the blockchain. And I think this is our like let's say this is the third lesson.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Mm-hmm. So okay, we did all these different things. We put all these things together. We made all these different accomplishments, and they kind of are building up towards something that we talked about at the very beginning. That many of our long-time fans have kind of been preparing for, and that's our Seascape development service. Now that's meant to be a big focus of ours this year, right?
Yeah. I'll give you that in the highway. Like a high level. I'll go into like the different topics, but let's say this development service is like a SDK, it's like a software development kit that's familiar to anyone who's building something, but we are providing it as a service. And this service is built in like with the architecture where we can add like any features, but that will be provided from the single library to the end developers. And yeah, for example, you have the smart contracts, you have like the all smart contract related data. For example, you want to transfer $100, like a US dollar worth of tokens. You don't have to go and calculate exchange, that's a check like at the price. All of these things happens on this SDS itself. And primarily, let's say you are reading the data or you're writing the data to the blockchain, and you don't have to worry what is the smart contract address, how you have to call these interface things, or you don't have to worry about your private key storage. Everything is done with this black box. But as a SDK, it gives like a full, how to say, transparency. We want to make it actually like an open source thing. However, you don't have to learn all of these details.
Yeah, the most important thing for people, I think, to take away from out there is like right now, it's just complicated to do a lot of the communication between Web 2 and Web 3. Web 2 is basically just front end and back end, right? But then once you have Web 3, you have layers of complication that are just, they're hard, they're complicated. And those complicated things kind of leave a lot of spaces open for compromises. And the consequences are very dire, right? So our goal is to eliminate some of those cracks to make that communication a lot more simple, and not just, you know, for ourselves, but, you know, kind of as to give that infrastructural advantage, you know, make that sort of like a part of Web3 now. So we want to be kind of like a building block, kind of one of the foundational blocks, kind of going forward for the entire industry.
Let's say this way, with this SDS, you can build these applications, any application that you want, with the super fast speed, without worrying about your infrastructure, because we are sharing our own experience how to build it super fast.
Nice. Do you have any parting words for us before the end of your section? Anything you want to tell the fans out there in the world?
Some parts of this SDS right now are open, and I would like to hear your feedback if you are checking it, and hope to have like a collaboration with all of the game developers as well. Yes, absolutely. Wonderful.
Well, it's always an absolute wonderful pleasure to have you with us, wherever it is in the world that you happen to be presently. But you know, stay safe, stay alive, stay well, and of course we'll catch you guys. We'll catch you again soon.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. Bye bye. To embarrass him now that he's gone. Wait, there has been some comments, and I wanted to read them out to him, but I thought, I don't know.
Oh, you should have said something, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I'll just read them out now. So someone said in the comments, Medet is beyond genius level of code gods. Right?
Hey!
And then there was another one. I need to find it. Where is it? They were also basically calling him the code Einstein. Which is not too shabby, I guess.
Okay.
So high praise.
That is pretty high praise.
But I cannot disagree. So.
No, he's good. He's good.
Yeah,
he's like a savant. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna start moseying on into our next section.
Yes.
Yeah. This section is actually for all of the players out there who've been like sliding into our DMs and like having opinions, you know, and maybe not necessarily complaining, but, you know, voicing their opinions. Because these are actually players who've been with us for a long time, and they want to see something. They want to see something from us that we kind of owe them. So we want to bring some actual interesting news, and for that, we're going to bring our buddy Erlan Petrosemoli, if he's around.
Oh, what a pronunciation. You're familiar
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello. Familiar face to Binance Live viewers, right?
That's immersive. Ready.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. How's it going?
Great to have you.
Amazing. How is everything? How is everyone? In different time zones, I guess.
Yeah.
I know you are similar to me in Asia, but Simon is there.
Yeah, I'm early compared to you. I'm
the early guy.
Yes. Exactly. I'm 1:30.
Oh wow.
So
it's 9:30 over here at my time. It's also -1 degrees. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I haven't stepped a foot outside yet today, so I actually don't know how cold it is. But it doesn't look like it's freezing.
What's the temperature where you are, Alan?
Like 30 something, 26, something like that.
My God.
Really? Damn.
You will love it.
Living the life. And assume that's in Celsius, right?
I have no idea how much that would be in Fahrenheit, actually.
Yeah.
Like 1 degree or something.
Yeah.
Erlan, tell me, what are you here to talk about today?
I am here to talk about Moonscape, of course.
Woo!
So,
woo!
Yes. We are going back to the moon, everyone.
Exactly.
For those who doesn't know, Moonscape is a resource strategy management defined game. You collect resources, you use resources to improve your city. Inside of the city, you build buildings, and each building has some functions that affect the gameplay and other functions that are play to earn and give you tokens, give you crypto. And it's a competitive game in a way that you can attack other bases from other players, and when you attack the player, you literally, if you manage to destroy part of the base, you literally steal the resources. So it's like a first competition to who can get the most and not get obliterated by the enemy.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, a lot of people, just from like my casual polling from BLOCKLORDS, a lot of those cats really want to be raiders. I feel like raiding is like super popular with people who are interested in our kind of space. So if that's your jam, Moonscape may be for you. So
exactly.
I designed the game trying to make it like fun, not only like based on the economy, but like to make it fun and challenging to raid other players. So it's not that easy to just go and destroy it. But yeah, it's like a good feeling. Like I managed to destroy 3 buildings.
Yeah. There's like a meta level to it, right? Like if you name your city, for instance, attack my neighbor Erlan, right? There's like there's like a psychological aspect to like how often you get raided. Like for real, we tried this out in early access. Like what you name your city, kind of like it's like a red blanket to a bull, So get out there and think about it. That's the second bull reference we've had so far.
We're summoning it, right?
Yeah, we're
at the end of the stream. There's gonna be a ritual, a blood ritual, and we'll summon the bull.
Okay, tight. All right. Now, okay, what's going on with Moonscape? What's coming up? What do we have to look forward to? What's happening?
Yeah. So first, everyone would like to apologize for the delay. It has been a while. That's one of the reasons we try not to say dates when we are not sure, is because things happen, and we got a lot of blocks, and it's a kind of complex game. So it has a lot of economies, it has a lot of smart contracts. Sometimes it takes more time than was estimated. So that's why I would like to apologize first to not having the game ready in the time we estimated. Besides that, I know our fans are very hardcore, and they really are eager to play the next version of the game. We are going to have
before you continue about what we're going to actually have, I do want to say that there is we have a legally binding apology here. If you can manage to find either Erlan or myself, we owe you a hug. So if you find us on the street and you're like one, 7 seconds.
How long is it? 7 seconds. There we go.
7 seconds. So it's an apology.
I've given I've given up my pursuit of that hack because 7 seconds is not long enough.
But if you find us, it's an apology, from us to you. So.
If you can show me you have a legendary city, I could double it to 14 seconds.
Okay, if anyone's selling a legendary city, I'm interested. I'll take those 14 seconds. What if I have 2? Will it be 28 seconds, Alan?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going. By the end of the day, I have a monopoly on legendary cities.
Okay, everyone, I cannot work in the game anymore. I will be holding Simon the whole rest of the month.
Exactly.
He's going to get all the NFTs.
And all the hacks as well, please. That's the important part.
Yes, for sure.
So, what new features do we have coming up in Moonscape?
So first, we are introducing the monetization part of Moonscape. That is will be very interesting for everyone that has MSCP. That is the official token of the game. You can use MSCP to get Moondust. Moondust is like the premium currency of the game. You can use it to accelerate the constructions of things. You can use it to buy things on the game. Everything that needs like some kind of purchase, you use the Moondust.
1 second. I'm actually getting a couple messages that the people can't hear you very well, Erlan. Can you see if there's something up with your mic? I hear you fine, but
yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm just increasing the volume of the mic.
Right.
Sounds better now.
Sounds good. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please.
No, sure. The whole point is that the people can hear me. If they cannot hear me, I will repeat. Okay, everyone, if you cannot hear me well, please say it, and I will repeat as many times. We are having Moondust, and Moondust will be bought with MSCP. So we can have you can have the premium currency on the game. In the previous early access, it was replaced by resources, but in the full version, like in the open beta, will be like the currency you will use to every time you need to buy something. It can be a boost, it can be resources, it can be many things that we are preparing for launch or for update after launch too. It will have 2 versions. It will have MSCP and USDC, and then if you use MSCP, of course, you get much more amount of Moondust every time you buy it. We are having other kind of play to earn functions like staking NFTs, similar to Seascape does with Staking Saloon. So in Moonscape, it's a game that you can make your own NFT. You can mint your own NFTs. It can be your city. It can be your rover, and you could use that to like earn back your hard work on the game, getting tokens. Like if you have a high level city, those levels are going to be reflected on how many tokens you earn. The same with rovers when you stake that NFT.
Cool, tight. I wanted to also mention that a user says that they will forfeit their hug for the game to be released 7 seconds earlier.
Oh, that's doable.
I think that's doable. Okay.
But you need to burn the legendary city.
You can send it to me and I'll take that.
Or to give it to Simon, sure.
Exactly.
Something else that people are really looking forward is the gameplay directly affecting the earnings, and that is the bonus system. It's just the first of many that will be related to gameplay and earnings at the same time. So you can stake your Escape NFT, and it's multi-chain staking. So if you have your NFTs in Ethereum or Binance or Moonriver, you don't need to worry about like finding a bridge or something complicated. You just select the network you have the NFT, and then you select the NFT. And when you do that, the NFT will become like the captain of the building and will add a bonus. The bonus will be the level of the building. So if level 1, level 2, level 3, it will increase the bonus. This is what increases the bonus the most. And also the quality, like the power of the NFT. So the quality and generation. And for the romance, I know we have a lot of very hardcore fans for Roma NFT that get all the NFTs every time. They are going to be the ones that get the most, and it's a big increase in the bonus. Yeah, it could like it was really worthy to use that NFT for the city, and it is going to be interesting for the players because you need to figure out what. So one specific character will be the leader of one specific building. So they spoke to the community to figure out which one is one.
I didn't know that. I just learned something. Okay.
Okay, learning something new every day.
Cool. All right. So, but you'll tell me though, right? Like, but because we're friends, like, you'll tell. Sure. He's not actually going to tell me anything. He's just saying this on stream. He's not actually going to tell me.
You need to take me to dinner when I visit you.
Of course.
Then no.
As soon as Romans were mentioned, we got an all caps message in the chat of Romans, and I'll let you guess who that message is from.
I could not possibly guess who it could be. I could not in a million years.
And another one, Romans with a heart. I think because I know that English isn't the best, so I think he might not follow fully. But I know whenever we say Romans, I think we're gonna get a message in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
It's up to them to figure out which one is the captain and the leader of each building.
Yeah.
Francesi, my love. I guarantee he will find it out before anyone else.
Exactly. He will know exactly which Romans to put where.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the open beta, we are of course having also rover NFTs. This is something that we already gave away some of in I think 1 or 2 campaigns on Twitter. So those players definitely will be very interested in using the rovers. Similar to the cities, you can mint them, you can import if you already have the NFT. You buy on the market or any other place, and you import, and you immediately can use in the game. You increase the levels of the skills of the rover, and you can export back to have a higher, let's say, power level of NFT. And
higher power level. Okay. All right, Goku, please continue.
Yes. It will be about 9,000. This is something that is planned for the open beta too. 12 rovers, as it was planned in the previous version. That we couldn't add that. We could add some rovers, but not the function to import, export, mint, and create the NFTs.
So that's really exciting. You know, so my understanding, right, is like what's coming out soon is going to be called Moonscape Season 1, right? Because that's kind of like our permanent. It's effectively a full launch, right? It's basically like the game is going out, birth fully, umbilical cord cut, able to walk and eat solid foods, right? That is
to drive stick as well. Sorry.
Was that? Wait. I'll talk to you after the stream, man.
Yeah, sure.
Moonscape Season 1. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to, like, you know, the little, like, when you battle the aliens and there's like this thing. I suck at it, but I mean it's for someone who has like absolute, you know, garbage hand-eye coordination. You know, it's pretty good.
I found that gameplay to be like half and half. Like half of the people are really good at it and they just score the maximum all the time, and the other half just can't.
It's not really you learn something new, right? As a game designer. So my understanding also is that you and I will be back here sometime later this month for a full frontal, full Monty Moonscape stream, right?
Yeah, we are back. We are definitely back. And we are preparing everything, and yeah, see you guys, everyone, soon, because like this is the literal soon, not the soon I always put on Telegram. It's ready. Will be ready before the end of the month.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. So what we're gonna do, just so that you guys who are Moonscape fans are aware, we have like a special Moonscape specific stream where we're gonna come and like show you like the mechanics, show you the game is actually progressing and ready because we do want it to be released soon, like not like lowercase letters soon, but like full
not like
capital S,
soon.
capital O,
Like
capital O, capital N soon, right? So tune in to our live streams later on this month where we can get on top of it.
Yeah.
What's up, Simon?
Definitely keep an eye on the announcement channels. It's also a favorite, and you should.
Any final words, Erlan?
Yes, everyone remember that Moonscape is free to play. You don't need to have NFT, you don't need to have token. You create an account and you just play. Very excited to see like the last few early access. We have like hundreds of players, but I know that when the game is actually open that everyone can play, it will be thousands of players. So very excited to see how the game, like all the feedback that I'm going to get to make the game the best game I can.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Okay, fantastic. I will look forward to our stream later on this month.
For sure.
Have a pleasant evening, Erlan. And we'll
too.
see you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Woo! All right, we're like almost a full hour into this love stream. Now it's time for it's time for another friend of the pod, another family favorite. One of my old buddies, all the way out in, I think he's currently in Shanghai. Nikki, let's bring him out to the stream. Woo!
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey. Nice to meet you guys. Is my network okay? Because you know.
You're good.
Okay, great. That's good to hear.
Tight.
Okay, happy birthday, Seascape.
Yeah. Woo! So exciting. Yeah. There's just it's been a wild and crazy year, as I think probably you know better than any of us here in Seascape, because you've had your fingers dug into absolutely everything, right? So
like I'm controlling everything.
Yeah, you're
on
like
the dark, maybe on the dark side.
Right? Like the octopus with tentacles in every project, right? So what are those projects? Let's take a look at these what's going on, right? So we have our little games, our big games. Oh yeah, we're missing NFT Brawl, but basically everything else is here. What did we do? What did we do this past year? What can you tell us about our mini games, our mid-sized games, our big games? Because you've been doing all of them, right? So what have we learned? What have we done? What are our accomplishments?
Yeah, which is true. I'm pretty much involved in all the projects, Seascape projects, no matter it's like with internal developer team or with external studios we've been helping with, right? So as all the scapers may know, like we started with all those DeFi mini games like Profit Circus, NFT Ball, Staking Saloon, Zombie Farm, Skate Forum, and everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. And then last year we've been, basically we did more seasons in many different blockchains, Ethereum, Moonriver, Binance, BNB chain, right? So most of them, I would say, pretty successful, and thank to you all that you all participate into those seasons and constantly give us feedback, and I think that's when we coming up with the DAO idea, right, Char? It's like we strongly begin to feel that, because different people holds different scapers or different NFTs in different blockchain, right? In multi-chains. So people will have different demand for new seasons, or for like how should be the reward for different network. So that's when basically we begin to having the ideas about we really should coming up with the DAO. Like we've been planning it for a long time, and now I think it's a good chance that we announced the Seascape DAO after this celebration, right? During the celebration, and then and the community can really vote on, you know, what's the new season coming up next, right?
Yeah.
Like which chain we should pick. What's gonna be what kind of NFT we should be looking forward inside of the season. So we are giving back these authorities to the community and let the community help us to, you know, decide the business model, or let's say decide the future of those mini games, right? Because those games, they are kind of simple, but they are also solid. So we are willing to giving back the power to the community. And then Moonscape, thank you, Alan. You know, team has been working really, really hard for Moonscape. Yes, we are delaying a little bit, but because we want, you know, there's more content into it. And you guys also saw that there will be, you know, scapes can be participate inside of the Moonscape, which is, you know, in the Seascape ecosystem, we believe the NFTs, right? Yeah, it's an ecosystem. If you hold a one NFT series, we hope it can be used in other products, right? Like you hold scapes from NFT Ball, right? And then you can play, you know, use it in the Moonscape to power your in-game, you know, experiences. That's and that actually spending a lot of time, because you can see we are trying to support the NFTs in many different chains. And mini miners, again, very interesting game. Like I think some of you guys already participate in the beta version, and soon we'll show you guys some footage for a latest version that we're gonna launch after. Yeah.
You went soon as in now or soon as in later? Like what do you do?
We can do it now. Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
So,
yeah, let's do it.
Real quick soon.
This is the soonest soon we've probably ever had. So let's take a look at what's going on for mini miners that's going to be released in its larger form very soon. Also, capital S, capital O, capital N. We can you know take a look here at some of the features that we can look forward to. So I think probably everyone already knew. Yeah, the manager's been. He's kind of always been there. I really like his little swag. I like his clothing. Like how he just kind of hangs out there.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, is he wearing Ugg boots? Looks like.
Probably. So you can go out there. What's up?
Yeah, and you guys can tell, like, we are finally implementing the diamonds, or let's say,
yeah, they're kind of a little bit important, and also I think a lot of people are really excited about exchange gold for crowns. So
this is gonna be exciting.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is one of the bigger selling points, and yeah, you can usually just look forward to it. Now, prices, I can't guarantee. That's why there's always like the, you know, lookout. But
the prices may be changed based on the marketing situation, which is, you know, but hey, come to the mini miners, mine the gold, then you can get you some CWS, right? That's always been the idea. Yep. And then finally, diamonds are here.
The big one, yeah.
Right. So, and you can also get diamonds on special sales. So there'll be one-time offers that are available for everyone to basically get diamonds at a reduced rate, but only for a very limited time. So you gotta play every day, man. You gotta get that grind in. Gotta do that grind.
And as you may can already know, like if you play the beta version, there are different miners that requires diamonds to unlock, and now in this version they're gonna be finally available for everyone to purchase and play with it. Yeah, and pets, something fun.
Yeah.
Everyone have a B, but now we're gonna have some more fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Wow, that looks cool. I think pets is by far the best feature so far. Maybe.
Really? Okay, that's a bold statement, but sure.
No, I don't know, but the spider looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
So, I mean, mini miners, you know, it's more content, it's more features, and finally we are bringing, you know, the economy to the real games. Because if you play the beta, you can mine mushroom, you can mine ore, you can mine gold, but actually we are just testing out the game economy. Again, very thank you to all the participators. All the feedback is being taken, and we are polishing the game. And of course, we also be very cautious because, you know, it really, you know, it's a chance for you guys to mine the gold, turn them into CWS, and also there's a channel to use CWS in the game directly to purchase the diamonds and use the diamonds to, you know, be able to buy a lot of services in the game, a lot of goods in the game, and play with it, power your mining power. And then, yeah, this will be coming out soon.
Again, capital, all of the letters.
Capital.
So soon.
Capital.
All
caps.
Real soon. Real soon. So, as in, like, don't miss our Twitter ever, because you never know. All right. So, I mean, there are a lot of people out there who have been tuned in for over an hour. And what they really want to hear about, what they're really here for, that particular category of people, is lords of the blocked variety. They want to know what's going on with that good block lords. That's a simple game, right? It's like it takes you like an hour or two every day. Barely.
You can say that.
I'm sure you barely lose any sleep over it, right? So, no, yo, come on, man. All right.
Yo. Okay.
All right, block lords. What's a block lord? Why is it named block lords?
Well, this is basically, you know, it's actually our starting point, block lords, right? So, actually, before we really making the solid Seascape network, we already, maybe some of our followers or fans or scapers know that we actually did a 2D version of the block lords on some public chains. It's always the kind of a dream game we want to do, right? We want to do it in a AAA quality. It's a medieval grand strategy game. Yeah, and I think to talk more about BLOCKLORDS, I want to bring up David.
Our special secret guest that nobody was anticipating.
Hello. Hi to the
Hello.
pod. Long-time listener, first-time caller, but very excited to be here on our 2-year anniversary. How's it hanging?
It's hanging slightly to the left, but very, very, very prominently. So we're very happy to talk about this dream, this dream with you, David. You know, I remember, like, you know, when BLOCKLORDS was still a tear in your eye. A long time ago.
Germ in the back of my mind. Yes, I mean, obviously, very excited, very emotional. I think it's been now a bit over 5 years since we had the idea for BLOCKLORDS, and since I told Nikki, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do Game of Thrones but with a bunch of blockchain stuff to it? And Nikki was like, fine, David. And then we set upon a 5-year journey. That brought us to the Seascape network, right? Because essentially what we realized is after 2 years or 3 years of doing the 2D version of BLOCKLORDS, we realized that in order for blockchain gaming to really take hold, there needed to be a lot of infrastructure changes. There needed to be stability in the marketplace. And this is what really I want to hammer in with what Medet brought up earlier, is that as developers, you know, a constant battle we've had for the last 5 years is that we develop things with certain settings in mind that the current blockchain we're working on has. And then everything changes while we're in the middle of an update, and then we have to do something different, right? And we've had to do this constantly. And this is really why we developed Seascape in the first place, was because as we were doing the first version of BLOCKLORDS, we just saw a huge lack of stability in blockchain and blockchain gaming specifically. So before I go too deep into the BLOCKLORDS, I wanted to say that I'm extremely excited to be here. I'm very proud of the team and everything we've been able to accomplish for the last 2 years. And really, I'm so excited about the future. I'm going to be talking about the future more in just a minute. But first off, I want to also thank you, Simon, and thank you, Shar, for being our vanguard with the community and keeping people excited throughout the entire last year, which was a tough year for the industry. And so I want to say thank you to you both. Thank you for the entire community and marketing team. And of course, thank you to the devs and everyone at Seascape and Medet Studios who are helping build the best games in Web3.
I mean, it's not even close. It's like if I'm able to be a bit immodest, it's not even close. So we just gotta just power through and get people really excited about the game that we're building. Speaking of the game that we're building, and I want you guys to roost a little bit on some of our exploits in the last year with BLOCKLORDS, which we're extremely excited about. Lots of hype, lots of alliances, lots of NFTs minted, and all that kind of good stuff. But I think what a lot of people really want to see is, like, what does the game look like, right? Is that possible? Can we see what the game looks like? Is that an option?
I think it's going to happen. I think you're about to make it happen.
Oh, how did this get here?
A clarification. It's
crazy what the mind can achieve.
1 month ago. So actually, you know, we already involved, but you know, I'm okay to show this. I'm okay to show this.
If you have any more, if you have any other, disclaimers, this is of course pre-alpha, right? Like, this is not like what you guys out there in Gameland are going to be playing, but just so you can see like what we're working on in house. But I know this is something that you guys are all excited about. So
excited. Let's see.
Yeah, and so to start off while this loads, obviously this is where our experience and our knowledge in this space has allowed us to get quite a bit further than a lot of our competitors. What you're seeing here is actually a fully connected backend. It's connected not only to the account system that we're using on blocklords.com, but also connected to the IMX blockchain and actually a few other chains that are going to be supported for BLOCKLORDS. The names of which I don't think I'm allowed to release quite yet, but there will be announcements coming on that in the coming months. And yeah, Nikki, you want to start us off with the squad system? Because that's your baby.
Yeah, sure. So what you guys see in here is basically the first time user experiences so we have for now. So when you actually enter the game with your hero, right, then you can pick the region, which just skip. There's going to be a world map, right? And then there will be regions on it. Pick a region you like, and then you can there and begin to have your first farm. So what you see here is actually in the beginning you can actually
Nikki, your sound
I think we're losing Nikki.
Your sound is a disaster, hon. Can we?
Oh no. I'll try to turn it into English while Nikki reconnects. So what Nikki was trying to say is the first part of the game is the region system. And the region system is going to be a very important system. The region you just saw, there were only about 7 regions, I believe. But the goal is for the early access to actually have 200 regions. And there will be over 3,000 regions by the time of the full launch of the game. So the map we're going for is a very large map, obviously inspired by the likes of Game of Thrones, the likes of Lord of the Rings. Like we're building a whole world here. We're not using the real world. We're going into a medieval fantasy world. That's going to be really vivid. And an important part of the game, as we know, are the lords. So each region will have its own lord, and that lord will control things such as taxes, building development, the marketplaces, and of course armies when the battle features come out. Are you back, Nikki? Can we hear you?
I'm back. I am back.
There you go.
Yeah. I hear you talk about city and the lords, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One
question. We got a question from the audience. They want to know what the PC requirements will be for
that.
This game.
That is $1 million question. We don't have a very specific answer for that yet because we're definitely doing a lot of testing. We're sending out to a lot of our QA partners, and a lot of our investors and such are playing the game now. So we're getting a lot of feedback from them about what's crashing and not. And of course, there is a lot of optimization that is happening. So while right now the requirements are quite high, we expect them to be quite a bit lower by the time the game launches. So we can't give a specific minimum requirement. That said, any decent gaming laptop will be able to handle the game, and honestly, any decent PC will handle the game as well. But we will, of course, announce the exact hardware requirements by the time of launch.
Yeah, people on Binance Live are gushing pretty hard right now. They're pretty excited. So,
yeah, and this is really this is the goal, right? And this is why we've been waiting so long with sharing gameplay. A lot of people have, of course, been pressuring us to share gameplay, share playables. But for us, really, we wanted to make sure that when we do show something, we're showing the top game in the industry, right? Where we want to be the standard bearer of industry.
Oh no, Nikki.
Nikki has turned into an AI. We lost
him.
No.
That's what most people don't know. He's actually not a human. That's how he's able to be a part of everything.
Yeah, I made him in DALL-E, and then he's a collection of ChatGPT and DALL-E. Streamed real time. So we're writing in prompts every 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the event system, and this is a system we're extremely excited about because essentially I think a lot of people have seen our cinematic footage. A lot of the content we were showing before showing this type of gameplay was cinematic content, and people were giving us a little bit of hate for it. It's like, oh, why are you focusing, more on cinematics than on actual gameplay? But something that's unique about BLOCKLORDS is that cinematics are actually going to be gameplay. The event system is one of the more advanced systems of the game. And essentially what's going to happen is if you take your squad and you send them to the woods to hunt deer, or if you send them to the woods to chop wood, or if you send your miners to the mine to mine some rock, actually there's going to be an event system very similar to Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis for our fans who play those games, that is actually going to give users random events, right? So, for example, hey, a bear showed up. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to run away, right? Maybe my character has a coward-like trait or some bad stats, so then the only thing you can do is run away. Maybe I'm going to fight back against the bear, and that's cool. You can fight back against the bear. Maybe you win and you kill it, or maybe your hero gets hurt and your squad actually dies. That is something that's going to be able to happen, and that is something that is going to give heroes a lot more functionality, because with this event system, we're going to be able to open up special choices, right, based on your hero's traits. And again, since we always like to push the limits, every event chain is going to have some cinematics attached to it. So here, what we're really trying to do is give users not only a great game experience, but also a great cinematic experience, because they will actually unlock different types of cinematic content based on the choices they and their NFTs do inside the game. Welcome back, Nikki.
Thank you. I'm a chat GDP. I heard that. I'm an AI. So
please compute faster. We need faster computation time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Nikki, maybe since we have you here, do you want to talk about the art process and how hard we've worked to make the game look this beautiful and how beautiful it's going to look in the future?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, as you guys can see right now, there already been so many buildings, right? So, really, our art team working very, very hard for different, buildings, different models of the squad. Everyone already should have a farmer NFT, right? If you don't have, go to blocklords.com and try to get one for yourself. And yeah, it's been very high quality model, of course, with animation And if you can see the environment in the game right now, although it's still a pretty alpha internal version, but you guys can see the environment is pretty beautiful. Also, we're going to have a city scenes, which sadly is not recorded into this one, but definitely we are working a lot on that as well. And also, you guys can see there was a zoom out, right? Because this farm scenes is actually player's first farm map, and it's actually huge. It's very huge environment. And in the beginning, player will be able to interact with the first area, which you just saw. Maybe it will be more content when we launch the game. But, you know, there is a land that you can begin to manage, build different buildings, recruit different squad. And also, you can see, because the map is huge, later on through the whole gameplay, when you level up your status, you will be able to unlock different areas. And each area will have something unique for you to explore. And also that means new art stuff, new art assets involved. And we believe with when we release our early access version, we're gonna have updates every month. And there will be, every time update, there will be maybe new gameplay added inside, or new buildings added inside, new squads added inside. And of course, that will be alongside with many new art assets as well. So it's a work in progress always, but I'm pretty proud with our art team and what they achieved so far. And we just need to keep pushing and to achieve more and more beautiful art pieces and provide it to all our fans.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting, Mike. We got, just to give you some updates on what people have been saying. They're excited, very impressed. There's one guy named Stefano, I don't know, but he wants you to know that he's very excited. Him in particular, he told me to tell you this. And they want to know some things about so it was mentioned that, you know, you're gonna run into things like bears. They might harm you. Like, are there things that happen external to your decisions, right? Like, can you just like discover that a bear has killed someone that is not related to you? Like, does the game sort of play itself while you're not there, kind of thing?
That's a very good question, and there might be some features like that later on, although not in the beginning. So that was definitely not in early access. Essentially, the events are something that happens to you as you play the game, and that's something that happens to other players as they play the game. And initially, it won't be so connected, although later on there will be, for example, certain actions that lords can take in their cities that will unlock event chains for everyone in that region. And one system that we're very excited about is the adventure mode system. The adventure mode system will actually be something that takes place on the regional map, which is not this. This is the farm map. We have the region map that we spoke about earlier. And the adventure system will essentially allow you as a user to send your heroes on quests, right? And these quests can be anything from, you know, getting married to finding some hidden treasures to, you know, changing the politics of your specific region. So there is going to be a lot of customization in these types of events. That said, for now, it would be a bit overwhelming if you were just bombarded with, you know, like Johnson killed a bear, or Simon, you know, drove a stick shift car. Like it would be just too much information.
Yeah. No, but that's pretty tight. I look forward to getting married. That's one of my, you know, one of my big goals. God, I had a question, and it is evaporated. But effectively, you know, the one thing that I do want people to take away with is I want a call to action. What should people go do right now? Like, what should they like? Are there any events going on? If I don't have a lord, where should I go? I just saw this. Let's say I'm a viewer. I just watched this gameplay. I have wet my pants. What do I do now?
Well, BLOCKLORDS again is we want to position ourselves as the top strategy game that combines the best of Web 2 with Web 3, if not the best game. You know, that's the goal. At the end of the day, you know, we're not focused too much on just competitors or hype. We're just more focused on, we want to build our dream game, right? We've had these ideas for the last 5 years. So for us, BLOCKLORDS is poised to come out in a lot of ways this year, sooner rather than later. I know the word soon is often memed in our community, but we are quite confident with the build we have, and we wouldn't show it if we weren't. And essentially, the NFT heroes are the key to not only unlocking gameplay. I do want to remind something that maybe gets forgotten at times, but in order to play the early access, you will need a minimum of one NFT farmer, right? And the NFT farmers will allow you to essentially build out your own farm and start being one of the first players to really play this game, explore this game, manage resources inside the game. And that's just the first level, right? We have the legacy farmers. Now, the legacy farmers, in terms of granting access to the game, they grant the same access as a regular farmer. That's that legacy farmers are going to have a pretty big advantage when it comes to gameplay on the Dynasty system. The Dynasty system, which is launching later this year. And the unique heroes, that's where it gets real meaty. And we do have a unique hero tournament going on right now. So I do suggest everyone to at least go in and put in a minimum bid, because they're flying under the radar right now, but unique heroes are going to be extremely powerful in the game. Not only are they unique 3D models that have been crafted by experts, you know, our team of 3D artists are experts. It takes on average about 40 man days or woman days, depending on the artist, to craft a hero like this. So you're not buying a JPEG that's been mass produced by DALL-E. You're actually buying a work of art that's been crafted by an artist who has years and years of AAA gaming experience. But that's just one part of it. The art is one part of it, and we're extremely proud of the art. But the in-game utility for lords and unique heroes is where things are really going to get interesting. We can't talk too much about the NFT economy and the tokenomics of BLOCKLORDS, but it is innovative, and that is why BLOCKLORDS have received support and investments from the top funds and the top game publishers in the world. Square Enix, Makers Fund, Bitcraft, Animoca, Delphi Digital, Krafton, Fund Plus. Like, the list of investors in BLOCKLORDS goes on forever. And, you know, you don't have to trust me, but I think if you can trust the top institutions in Web3 and Web2, and they all support BLOCKLORDS. And this is just my long way of saying that having a unique hero will set you up for a lot of competitive gameplay within the game. And if you don't want the pressures of responsibility and ruling others, well, then farming is totally fine. And I do urge everyone to get at least one farmer so they can play the early access version of the game.
Well, don't just sit there, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there and get Lorden. Go Lord. Go to blocklords.com.
Get Lorden.
I would like to trademark that, please. Get started. If you haven't gotten anything yet, it's not too late. It's actually still in the very early times. So we're in, we're in Super Saiyan mode currently in the production over here on the internal side. We want to have this pushed out very soon not as soon as like Mini Miners Moonscape soon, but in the not distant future. You guys can look forward to early access. So you don't want to wait until it's really close to the date to get all your stuff together. Get a hero, get a unique hero, get a legacy farmer. Put together your banners to get a nice legacy farmer. Like, get out there and get something nice. Get ready. And if you're lucky, we can get married. There'll be a community event for my hand in marriage for those who
we're selling off John.
Yeah. So I should hope that will be a productive event. All right. So anything else on this topic before we move on to the next really exciting?
I think the roadmap is the topic we want.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
exactly.
Dive into it.
Take a good look.
Yeah, it's a good looking roadmap. We're driving through it with a stick shift. Although I do have an automatic box in my car, but I did learn to drive with a stick, so that still counts. I mean, hey, it's a crazy year. This roadmap here is just this year, and I do want to emphasize how this is really the sign of how productive we are as a company, as a network, as a foundation. We are building more than anyone out there, and I think that's the key, and that's something that we sometimes lose focus of because we release so many products. But this is what we have going this year, and obviously the year started with us closing our mini miners early access, which I believe went offline yesterday. We had over 5,000 users, I believe, giving feedback, giving us a lot of great insights into how we should improve the game. The team is hard at work. Again, this is done by Mini Miners is developed by an external studio called BitPunch, and they are not only developing Moonscape but also Mini Miners, and they have been great partners since we started working with them. The Seascape Anniversary is right now, and obviously the DAO is a huge part of that. The Seascape DAO is a game changer, and it's taking us 2 years to get to the point where we felt, hey, we can let our users decide what assets are going to be required, what assets will be rewarded, and of course the timelines and the networks where these games will take place. This will not only bring utility to all of our tokens, all of our NFTs, in the network for our partners. It really gives people a way to have control and have a say into how we not only run the existing games, which are starting off with the mini games, but also how we fund and encourage and develop other games through the Lighthouse. So governance is really important, and we aren't going to rush it because obviously a lot of things can go wrong with governance, and we've seen a lot of other projects try it too early and then not be able to really get any action whatsoever. And for us at Seascape Network, it's very important to actually keep launching, keep delivering, keep doing projects, keep testing the boundaries of Web3, so that when the tech is ready, we can actually bring on mass adoption and bring on millions or hundreds of millions of users, which is, I do want to remind people, that's the end goal. That's the actual road itself. And that's why we made Seascape Development and Service the road and not a specific point on the map. It's actually it's the entire, that's why we're doing this. We're building out games, we're building out technical solution, and we're building out a community so that Web3 games can actually reach hundreds of millions of users. And that's something we're going to be working on, not just for this year, not just for the last 5 years, but for the next 10 years. So do shout in if Simon, Char, if I ramble on too much, but this is what I do. So the governance vote is the important next step, and that'll be followed with a new white paper. We were going to release it today, but we decided, hey, let's take a little extra time. Let's really gather feedback. Let's do the first vote so we know where we have the right settings and the right format, and let's get ready for launch with our main games before we launch the white paper. That said, it is pretty exciting, and it covers a lot of the topics that we've discussed today, not only in more detail, but also with supporting data. I think the data is a part where we're going to be doing a lot of work this year in order to show, because as we discussed, as has been discussed today, we're on 5 different chains now. We have millions of dollars in volumes and rewards. We have hundreds of thousands of NFTs, if not millions, that have been created by our users and then also burned by our users. And this is, again, another part of the road, another part of SDS, which is driving NFT utility forward. And that's something that we think is severely lacking in the space and that we hope to continue innovating on. This will be followed by a BLOCKLORDS NFT expansion. We have a lot of features coming up for our NFTs, and we are also going to be doing a much better job of showing the game, of showing the features, and showing how NFTs, heroes, and banners will impact gameplay and will benefit users. So definitely you can expect a lot more focus on the BLOCKLORDS NFTs and what they do, and also possibly a few more integrations with other protocols. So this is something we'll have more detail on in the few coming months. Mini Miners open beta, Moonscape full launch. I won't go too much into these details, but essentially what we're trying to say here is Seascape users can expect this year not only BLOCKLORDS, which is probably one of the top 3 games in the Web3 space, but also Mini Miners, which will launch on Binance BNB chain, and will be one of the most addicting, I think, games in the Web3 space. And then Moonscape, which in partnership with Moonbeam, is one of the most technically complex games in the Web3 space. And this is really what we're about here. We're about releasing a lot of products, and you can expect not only fun, entertaining, well-developed products, but also a lot of them. And this is what Seascape's all about. This will be followed up with some Scape Store activities in the summer.
Un segundo. I have one thing I wanted to interject here. People ask us this all the time, and we always disambiguate it. But I think this is a nice time to kind of tell users, if you are in the Seascape ecosystem, if you're a Scapes hodler, Crowns hodler, they want to know, basically, people ask us often if they will have a special place in the BLOCKLORDS ecosystem. And while we can't go into the specifics of what that's going to be like, I do want to reassure people that yes, you will have a special place, right? And those special places will become clearer as these events kind of unlock, right? So like over the course of the year, there will be places for people who've been with Seascape for a long time to be able to be interwoven into the BLOCKLORDS ecosystem.
Yeah, of course. And again, BLOCKLORDS would not be possible without Seascape. And a lot of what SDS is about was essentially us building the most advanced tools in this space in order to make BLOCKLORDS a reality. So I think it's really important to cement that relationship. And I think that's something that we're doing a lot. And we're going to be doing a lot more of like, hey, here's BLOCKLORDS, the top game in this specific genre. It was only made possible by Seascape. And you also have all of these other products in the Seascape environment that are going to be essentially scaled to infinity, right? Like one BLOCKLORDS means we can do other BLOCKLORDS and other products that are all made possible with Seascape. And you could say, you know, Seascape is the glue that holds a lot of this together. BLOCKLORDS will also be launched on Lighthouse, which is obviously the incubator and the launch pad for all Seascape projects. And so that's definitely something that's committed. And I do also want to say that BLOCKLORDS is built as a game that's going to be attracting Web2 users, and that Seascape as a project is quite complex. And so this is where somewhere there needs to be also a separation between the platform and the product. So I can't promise that everything that BLOCKLORDS does will be for the sole benefit of the Seascape network. That said, Seascape network is what makes BLOCKLORDS possible. And there will be a lot of cross-pollination between the two projects, and what benefits one will benefit the other. And that's how we're building essentially every game that works with the Seascape network.
Tight.
Tight indeed.
Great. And then I will
just something I want to jump in here.
Oh, yeah. Please.
Oh,
really?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just quick thing. If you guys look through carefully for this roadmap, you can see there's a road, right? It's a roadmap, and that road is Seascape Development Services. That's SDS. That's Seascape, what Seascape means to all those projects, to all those nodes, timing points, and what we can achieve. Yeah, that's something I want to add here. So Seascape is the backbone of all the projects.
Exactly. Yes. And I will tease that not only are we launching 3 leading games in the space this year, we're also, of course, running the mini games. We're also adding governance. Governance will not only affect the mini games, it will affect specific games like mini miners, like Moonscape. Moonscape will have its own governance vote. I don't know if that was announced earlier. But
I don't know if we actually did talk about that. No, I think that was like that's a big gap in what we mentioned. Yeah, Moonscape is going to be very intimately tied to the DAO. So
exactly,
Moonscape players, please get out there. Yeah.
And the DAO will essentially cover all games, because the way we're building the DAO, all games can have votes regarding their own communities with their assets. And this brings a lot of utility for all assets within the ecosystem to not only impact their own project, but also impact other projects. And that's a really big part that will be explored a bit more as we get into more votes. And yeah, what I'll tease here is there is another game. Actually, there's a few other games that aren't revealed yet, but there is one for sure that will launch this year. that we haven't shared any details about. We won't share them today, but we're throwing it out there. It will come this year, and it's going to be really just another piece in the ever-growing portfolio of Seascape games. The year will end with the Dynasty system, where NFT heroes can breed, have children, die, and of course be an intricate part of the BLOCKLORDS economy. And then the last one, I'm not sure will come out this year, but we'll do our best to make it happen this year, and that'll be the BLOCKLORDS Raider update, where essentially battles will be made possible in the BLOCKLORDS ecosystem, not just in cinematics mode, because that'll come a lot earlier, but actually in the gameplay itself. So quite a year. And I do want to mention also that, as I did before, the end of the rope here, the end of the road here is not just a few thousand users, a few 100,000 users. It really is millions and hundreds of millions of users. And that's what we're building here at Seascape. And that's why, when we delay things, when we go a little bit overboard with our ambitions, we do want to remind our community that it is for a greater purpose, and it is to really lead mass adoption of Web3 with the help of gamers. And that's the end of my rant.
Yeah, dude. Tight. Awesome. Good and amazing. Personally, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So once the raid update happens, what happens to people like me?
If you're gonna farm or you're gonna be a lord, that's gonna be a different dynamic of what you'll have to do for the raid update. But essentially, farmers will become targets of raiders, and you'll kind of have to choose. Okay, do I stay in this region where maybe the lord isn't protecting me? Do I become a raider just to defend myself, or do I become a lord and then I have control over how I'll defend my own troops, my own region, or attack others? So really, yeah, it will be a bit more hostile, but if you want to, you can still stay as a farmer and keep doing your thing, as long as you're in a safe neighborhood.
Yeah, I guess stay in a safe neighborhood, move to the suburbs. That's the intention. When
you
the raid update.
You have to learn how to love fighting. Maybe that's the wrong.
That's a better answer. Yeah.
Okay. What happens if someone because I assume you'll be out there with the rest of us battling, David. If someone mistakenly kills you, what happens? Are you gonna be bitter about it?
Yeah, we'll power off the game and
BLOCKLORDS 3.
Rage quit.
Rage quit. No, I'll just call Nikki and tell him to redesign the game, and then we'll take it from there. No, this is something I've learned from a decade of working in gaming, is that no matter how much I design or play a game, the gamers always beat me. Like users, are way better at using the game than I am. So I'm just used to losing at this point.
Yeah, same. Yeah. That's why I'm setting myself up now to marry into a better situation. But I'm hopefully safe. I recommend it for everyone. Okay. What else do we have? Is there anything else we want to talk about? Are we anything else we really want to get people excited to do?
I think we're at 2 hours in, so I'll just summarize it. It's been an incredible 2 years. We're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep launching games that we love. And I think this year is really a lot about taking the last few years and solidifying it into great products that are going to be able to build larger communities. As that happens, we're going to polish our tools so that other game developers can join the network. So you could say 2023 is really a year of consolidation within our group, launching the products we have, growing the community we have, getting more people excited about Web3. And then next year will be all about new games, outside games, and essentially getting ready for mass adoption, which is going to happen in these next 5 years. I'm certain of it. Yeah,
it's already been written in the stars. So we have a couple of questions in Binance Live. I'm just going to really quickly go through the ones that I think are most important. Most importantly, people who seem to have missed the beginning of the stream. If you guys want to know what's going on with our other games, please watch the stream. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Binance Live. We got all the information that you guys could possibly want to know about what's going on with the mini games. All that's just please watch us in perpetuity because our numbers also need to go up. So that's number one. And then number two, people want to know when the first votes are going to be available for governance. All caps soon. So take a look at our social media. We're actually going to release the website where you guys can go register for it in the coming days. As we start to release the anniversary NFTs, those 2 bits of knowledge will come out at the same time. So we're going to have an article that kind of walks you through the governance process, also about the kind of elaborates a bit more on our ecosystem, so you guys can get out there and participate in it more richly, especially those of you who are only kind of involved in one aspect and want to get involved in other aspects. And yeah, we're going to have more streams like this in the future, where you guys get to hear from us, get to hear from Nikki and David, get to hear from all the people who are behind the scenes. And we are very, very appreciative of the 5,000 or so of you who are currently watching. We're very, very happy about all the things that we've accomplished and all the things that we intend to accomplish. We have a lot more to do. We're only just starting. And thank you guys for being a part of it.
BLOCKLORDS. Seascape.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone. Have a great year.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.